Hello students, in this video we're going to cover how to manage your data for your heart rate lab. We're going to cover three things. We're going to talk about how to format your data so that it looks a little bit nicer, so you have a nice table so you could copy and paste it and put it somewhere, make it presentable. We're going to talk about how to find averages or how to use sheets to find averages. And lastly, we're going to take our data and make a nice chart out of it. So as you can see, I already have a lot of the table filled out, right? This is just your raw data that you collected during your lab activity. But this data is not very presentable. I really can't copy and paste this into a Word doc or into the document you have to fill out on Classroom. So the first thing I would do is I would at least make it into a table. I would add borders. Adding borders is easy. There's a little box here that says borders. Click on that. Click on all the borders. I got borders. Feels good. And then let's highlight this top header row and let's give it a fill. Why not gray? Gray looks good. And then I think the averages, this data is a little bit more important, so I want to give that a fill and maybe like, I don't know, an orange. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, it's based on your aesthetic, but I think this table, I can copy and paste it and put it anywhere and it'll look fine. Part two, let's find the averages. To find the average, we're going to use the macro functions in Sheets. That means we're going to start with the equal sign. So once you press an equal, Google and Excel, they know you're going to put in a function. You're going to put in some sort of task for it to do. And our task for Google is to find the average, and that's by typing in the word average, A-V-E-R-A-G-E, done. Or if you're a little bit lazy and you type in A-V-E-R, you can just click on the word average, fine. It has open parentheses. It wants a range or the values. We're going to give it a range. We're going to go from B2 and we're going to highlight across to E2, close parentheses. I know that on the Chromebook, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to drag your finger and highlight many things. So what you could do is you could just do equal sign, type in average, A-V-E-R-A-G-E, open parentheses, and we're going to put in the two cells. This is B2, look, this is B2, and this cell is E2. So we're going to go between B2 and E2. So we're going to type in B2, E2, close parentheses, and Google figured it out again, found me the average, fine. The best part is you don't need to do that more than once. Once you do it, once you put in the function once, you could just drag it across, and now it's everywhere. I'll slow it down. I'll redo that. To drag it down, you don't want the cursor. You don't want the little arrow cursor. You don't want this little hand cursor too, right? Not the hand, not the arrow. Instead, if you hover your cursor above this little blue box, this little corner here, notice that the cursor turns into a cross. Hold that down, drag it down, and it just repeats that function. That's kind of like the smart extending thing. Like it'll do all sorts of crazy things for us. If that is a little bit difficult with the trackpad, then you could just copy this. All right, go to that cell, Control C for copy, highlight the rest, and then paste, Control V. And then boom, I got all my averages. Last part, probably the easiest part, is we got to graph all this data. So let's highlight just our data, just the stuff that we have the borders around. So oftentimes if you don't highlight everything well, like the computer kind of messes up. So it's probably easier just to make sure that you highlight everything well. I know the trackpad can sometimes be a trying thing, so you could just highlight with your fingers, or click on A1, hold down Shift. You can't see it, but hold down Shift, and then click on F5. See, it highlights the whole thing when you hold down Shift. And then all you got to do is click on this little button that says Insert Chart, or go to Insert a Chart, and Google is probably going to be smart enough to do everything for me. Look, I got a wonderful chart. I got each of my team members, but the formatting is a little bit goofy, right? If you just copy and paste this, this is probably not the best looking chart. Let's fix our titles. To do that, click on the title, and see, notice how this area here changed to a chart title. Watch, if you click on various things, it will change on this side. See, this is the series, this is the legend. So here, let's click on chart title. It goes to chart title, and let's just call it something else, right? Instead of this random thing here, why not call it heart rate during different activities, something like that, all right? Or heart rate during rest and various, amounts of exercise. Good. That looks a little bit better. We got this thing that says condition on the bottom for no reason. That's right. These are team members. That's not a condition. So let's get rid of that. All we got to do, see, once I click on it, it changed over here. See, it's kind of cool how it does that. Right? I click on condition, it changes it. It's like, oh, do you want this horizontal title? No, let's just delete it. Right? And now it's gone. And then lastly here, we don't have a y-axis unit. You should always have units. So let's go to our vertical axis, right? Oops. All right, let's give it a chart title actually. So we're not actually there. We have to go here to chart title, go to the vertical chart title, click on it, and then type in, this is our heart rate in BPMs. Beats per minute, right? That shows up, good. And I think this is a good looking chart. Now you could copy and paste it. So usually you could just kind of copy and paste, like you kind of click on it, oops, and then do Control V, Control C. Control C, Control V. Or you could click on these three buttons, right, and you could copy the chart and you can move it wherever you want. I hope that helps, and good luck with your write-ups.